G'day, welcome back to the 40 channel. So, the rear brakes were no good. The wheel cylinders were seized and the other side was just leaking out and the seal had blown out. So, we've got brand new wheel cylinders, we've got brand new brake pads, we've stripped it all down, cleaned up all the components, and it's going to be like another trackside repair basically. Pull the brake hubs off both sides. The brake shoes actually looked really good. There was quite a lot of meat left on them, which is good, but when we checked the reservoir it was dead empty, bone dry, so we thought that's no good. Topped it up, started pumping things through to see what was going on. We found that the passenger side wheel cylinder is pretty much seized, it's not working at all, and the driver's side wheel cylinder has blown out a seal, so it was just pouring out brake fluid everywhere. So consequently, they're no good. So what we're going to do is we're going to strip them completely down, remove the wheel cylinder, remove all the componentry. We'll have to get new wheel cylinders now, and we'll rebuild it all up. So it'll be new wheel cylinders, new brake shoes. It'll be good as new. So that way, we don't have to worry about anything being second-hand on our braking components. Righto, so we did the strip down. That was relatively easy. Putting it back together, it's not too difficult. The biggest challenge that we're going to have is fighting with springs. Anyway, that's enough said, let's get into it, eh? Because we're putting new wheel cylinders on, or we remove the old ones, there's the potential, or not the potential, there will be brake fluid running out of those brake lines. And it's not the nicest stuff, and it doesn't do your skin any good. So gloves are always a good option. Let's get the new wheel cylinders on. Screw that brake line into the back and that'll stop all that leaking brake fluid. Just do these two nuts in very loosely, and that'll sort of help support everything, but it still gives us movement to try to screw in our brake line. Do that brake line up nice and tight now. Stops any leaks. So we take our pin, slide it through the back here. Sit that brake shoe on place, and this is where our first bit of spring activity starts. Push it on and give it a spin. Make sure that it's 90 degrees. That's just going to hold that there in place while we try to do the rest of the installation. Righto, we take our big long spring, and just hook it right into this position here. We're going to let that hang for a second. We're going to get our adjuster, slide that in position too. This is where it starts to get a little bit more fun, if you want to call it fun. So the next thing we need to do is we need to get this one in, but we need to get our spring and our adjuster all in place. So what we're going to do here is I'm going to get the spring, I'm going to hook it onto this point right here, and with brute strength we're going to pull that back, try to pop that adjuster nut in place and put it on the top of the wheel nut all in one go. And you'll probably see this is not going to be as straightforward as I just made out. So close, Just get a screwdriver, pop that across a bit, hopefully. There we go. Pop that onto the wheel cylinder. We'll get our other pin, run it through the back like we did before. Put all this spring again, just lock that in place. That's going to hold all that in place. Now we have our last little spring to put in, which is right down the bottom here. Now this one needs to go right at the bottom. We'll hook it over one side first, it goes behind it, and we need to hook it into this little hole right here. The best thing I found is long nose vice grips. This way you can get a really good lock onto it, pull it over and pop it in without too much drama, although I haven't done it yet, so this is so much easier when you don't have a camera in your way, but this is all for you guys. Come on. So close. There we go. Popped it in just like that. Righto, just now we've got it in this position before we put the hub back on. We're just going to wind that adjuster screw out just a fraction, just to take up any slack, just so that there's no more movement there and it's nice and firm. Righto, so all our rear brakes are together. It wasn't too difficult. Now we're going to put the hub back over it, the brake drum. Now we've got a screw hole at the very top, or I've spun it to the top just to make life a bit easier. That way we can put our locking bolt. That way we can put our locking bolt or locking screw at the top. Slide it all on. Screw that into place. Righto, the rear's done. So fairly straightforward, not too difficult. Biggest thing we need to do now is bleed all the brake lines, flush all them out. And what we're going to do is we're going to adjust that little adjuster from the back side here. We're going to adjust it up until it grabs, and then we're going to back it off 3 clicks. And hopefully we'll be able to stop. Righto, let's chuck on the rear tyres. We're doing away with the old split rims. We're chucking on what we had originally on the FJ40. Righto, they look a lot better than the split rims. Yeah, that's fantastic. So I had these left over from the FJ40 build. They were on it when I bought it, and I went back to genuine split rims on the FJ40. Sandblasted, powder coated, they look pretty good. So I had these sitting around, and I think they look good. Righto guys, that's it. So that's the rear brake rebuild. So very quick, easy to change out the wheel cylinders, easy to change out the brakes. Just need a little bit of time and all the right parts and tools. Righto guys, until next time, take care of yourselves.